Hey there, my fellow lunatics, and welcome to Dakon's Madhouse. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Dakon's Madhouse. And today, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be doing a guide to Glurch. This is a relatively easy boss, but it still can provide challenges for a new player. So let's go ahead and get started. Real quick, let's just talk gear. Gear is not that important for the Glurch fight. He's not that hard, and you can beat him with wooden armor. So all you really need is a set of wood armor. However, if you have it, you can craft copper armor, and copper armor will also work. If you're finding that you're having problems with all of the slime at Glurch's arena, then make yourself some rubber boots and a raincoat instead. The armor from these is also perfectly fine for the Glurch fight. You're going to want to grab yourself a wooden shield as well, because that makes for a really good offhand during this fight when you don't really have anything else. Now, all of these items here are craftable at the copper anvil. Same with the wooden bow and a copper sword. Again, if you have copper, great. I'm going to do this with wood, though, just to show you that it can be done. Additionally, at the basic crafting bench, you can craft yourself a wooden sword or the wooden armor. I'm wearing wooden armor, and I'm going to be doing this with a wooden sword, a wooden bow, the simple staff, and the Tome of the Dark, just so that you can see that this can be done with any one of the classes. I'm just going to kind of mix it up throughout the fight. One thing I do highly recommend is that you take the time to build a salvage and repair bench before this fight, and you go ahead and you reinforce your wooden weaponry, or your starting weaponry if you're using the simple staff or the Tome of the Dark. You don't need to do it for your armor. If you feel like it, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. If you're using copper armor, you maybe want to reinforce it. It's a little better. You're not going to get hit enough to break the armor, so reinforcing armor is not as important, but you are going to wear through your weapons, especially if you're using wood, so you're going to want to reinforce that. I also recommend crafting an additional wooden sword or an additional wooden bow. Even if you are using the simple staff or the Tome of the Dark as your primary weapon, either of these might break during the fight, and you're going to want backups. Same thing with the wooden sword and the wooden bow. Even if you reinforce it, it might break during the fight, so bring a backup. You might need it. If you have a pet, use a pet. I'm going to do this without a pet, but if you've got one, they come in handy. Also, if you happen to have any rings or necklaces already, wear them. Wear whatever you have. Any advantage that you can get, go for it. I'm going to do this, however, with what I think is the bare minimum that you need. You really don't need much in the way of your skills. I recommend having about 5 to 10 points in whatever your primary skill is going to be, whether it's melee, ranged, magic, or summoning. Try to get about 5 to 10 points. In this case, this character already has, as you can see, in the 30 to 40 range. So that's going to give me a little bit of an advantage because I get an inherent boost that's higher the higher my combat skill is. But in order to make this fight a little more fair, what I've done is I have gone ahead and I have removed all of the points that I have spent in any of my skills, as well as in my defensive skills. I've just reset everything so that this character is pretty much as new as I can make it for a low-end kind of character. Real quickly, I want to talk about food before we deal with Glurch. You don't need any buff food for this fight. You just want to make sure that you're well fed so you don't get any kind of damage debuff. However, if you are going to eat, there is a really nice simple buff food that I recommend, and it is literally the hearty pepper wrap. It is made with bomb peppers and heartberries. It gives you an increase to your movement speed, which is very helpful when you're getting slowed by that slime. And it gives you a boost to your maximum health, which is something you're going to need this early in the game. So if you make no other food or you don't do any other kind of buffing, then I recommend at the very least bring some hearty pepper wraps and use one of these right before the fight. it will make all the difference. Now, you'll also want to ideally be full when you start the fight, because then you get well-fed boosts, which make the fight even easier for you. Now, Glurch does have a waypoint near his arena, so if you find that, that will give you a fast travel point, making it easier for you to get from Glurch to your base. However, Glurch does spawn very close to your base, usually within 30 to 60 tiles, so you should expect to find him pretty quickly. One way that you will know that he's nearby is your screen will periodically shake when he jumps up and down. Just like that. Follow the shaking screen and you will eventually come upon Glurch's arena. Now, the area itself is filled with hazards. It's got some slime on the ground. There are a few slimes in the area. The orange slimes are not aggressive, but the red spiky ones are. Either way, you are going to want to clear out as much of this as you possibly can. Maybe even dig a little bit of these spaces out to give you a little bit more room. Now, there is a trick that we're going to use here real quick that I'm going to show you that will help you clear out space and make this arena much bigger and easier to use. It is going to probably get you killed, though. So if you're playing on a hardcore character that you can't die, don't use this trick. Be patient and manually just dig out the arena walls and make this area bigger. So for the little trick, I want to aggro Glurch. I want him to come near me, but I want to run away from him. And as you can see, he's breaking walls. So if I just get him to chase me, now he won't chase you very far, but if I get him to chase me a little bit, shoot him periodically, he will, yeah, that hurt. He will break all of these walls down for you, making it a lot faster and a lot easier for you to clear out the arena to actually fight him and have room to kill him without getting smashed all the time. Just move in a circle and let him chase you, breaking down walls. And if he kills you, you know, he kills you. And if he doesn't kill you and you get the arena big enough that you're happy with its size, then just run away and he will reset. Now that you've cleared out more space in the arena, you unfortunately also have more ground slime all over the place because Glurch just hopped around adding more. So we need to clean some of this up. If you use a copper hoe or a better, so a tin hoe or an iron hoe will also work, you get a bigger range of tiles that you can dig up at once. And you can use this to dig up large sections of this ground slime without having to do it one tile at a time. Now, the bigger the hoe that you use, the bigger the radius will be. So get the best one that you can make. It's probably going to be copper at this stage, though. All right, once you've cleared out most of the slime, next thing you're going to want to do is clear out as many of the actual slime creatures as you can, especially the red ones, because they're going to attack you during the fight and they're going to get in the way. So let's get rid of them now before they're a problem. Be careful when one of these creatures is really close to Glurch, because if you miss, you may accidentally aggro Glurch. And while that's not bad, it's something you'll just have to deal with. All right, before we get started with the Glurch fight itself, I just want to mention that I am playing on a hard mode world. I do all of my gaming in this game on a hard mode world. I do all my tutorials in a hard mode world, because if this works in hard mode, it'll work in standard and it'll definitely work in casual. So just know that anything I'm doing here will be even easier if you're doing it in standard or in casual. Glurch operates pretty much exactly like an orange slime. He's just bigger. So he's just going to jump at you, and all you have to do is chase him around in a big circle, shooting him with a bow, hitting him with your spells, summoning bats to attack him, or attacking him yourself and then running away. Now, the melee part is definitely going to be the hardest because you have to run in, hit him, and run out. And that can definitely be very challenging. So if you're not used to that sort of thing, I definitely recommend against using melee for the Glurch fight. But as you can see, it's not taking much. He goes down pretty fast. His hit points aren't that much better than even a slime. And he will, however, enrage when he hits about 30% health. He's getting pretty close to that point right now. There he goes. He's now enraging. Now he's going to be moving even faster, and it's going to be a lot harder for me to just attack him, especially in these parts where I'm getting slowed by the slime. You have to run around to areas where you're not getting hit by as much slime if you have any hope of actually taking him down at this point. On the plus side, this will grow your arena a little bigger as well. Now, if you have heal potions, this is definitely the time to use them. I didn't bring any, so that's a problem. Make sure that you're well fed during this fight as well, because if you're not, then your damage will suffer and it will take you even longer. But once you've killed Glurch, that is it. You've got his loot, and you now have access to the first NPC, which I've already summoned, so he didn't drop out of him this time. And you now have access to Glurch's summoning idol. If you need to resummon Glurch, you can do so at this idol. It is really simple. Glurch has a few guaranteed drops. He's going to give you his chest every single time. The first time you kill him, he will drop the bearded merchant out of his body. As well as every single time you kill him, you're going to get the Glurch eye and the slime oil. Those are all the guaranteed drops. Now, when it comes to all of the other drops, we've got a variety of things. Starting with slime, basic slime. We've got some ancient gemstones, some mechanical parts, copper ore, tin, rare candy, nothing special there. Then we've got weapons. There's the rusty dagger, which is a decent dagger, although there is better. The melting crystal ring is really good if you're going for some kind of dodge build. The blob rosary necklace is an excellent range damage necklace. If you want a slime pet, you're going to get the oozy egg. The sticky stick is a upgraded version of a mage staff, but it's not my favorite one. It isn't that bad though. So if all you've got is a simple staff, this is an upgrade for you. Ranger armor is great. It's good for ranged attacks, but the hood is really the only one that's specifically ranged. The other two you might find use out of even if you're a different build. Glurch figurine if you're collecting those figurines, the apprentice set if you're going for any kind of mage build, and finally the crescent ring, which will improve your overall mana. So this is Gorm's summoning idol, and this lets you resummon him at any point. Now to resummon him, however, you have to have killed Gorm, the second boss, first. So you're not going to be able to just resummon him right away, because killing Gorm gives you the NPC item that you need, known as the Mysterious Idol. And the Mysterious Idol gives you access to another NPC, specifically the Caveling NPC. That NPC sells the Giant Slime Idol. And the Giant Slime Idol can be purchased for ancient coins and is used to resummon any slime. In this case, we can use it to resummon Glurch. So if you want to bring him back, you just place the idol down on the circle. It will begin to glow, and I'm not going to do it right now, but it will begin to glow like you just saw, and Glurch will reappear. All right, so let's say that you fought Glurch a couple of times, but you're struggling. Whether you're doing it on hard mode for the first time and it's harder than you thought it would be, or you are playing on standard mode and you are having a hard time, because let's be real, standard mode can be challenging in this game, especially when you're brand new. Yeah, I know a lot of people are about to leave comments saying, I don't know what you're talking about. Hard mode is way too easy, let alone standard. And I agree, but that's not true for every player. So let's take other people into consideration here. Let's assume you're struggling with Glurch. There is a way that you can kind of cheese this fight a little bit. What I would recommend is that if you're struggling with this fight, just get some better gear, get your hit points up a little further, get your stats up a little higher, and try again. That's really what I recommend. But if you don't want to spend the time doing that, you want to get Glurch done now, right at the beginning, despite the fact that he keeps killing you, you want him down. Let's cheese him a little bit. So right now you can see that Glurch is right at the edge of my screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start shooting him with a bow. Now, this will not work with the simple staff. This will not work with melee. This will not work with your summoning stuff. This only will work with ranged. And it will work with magic if you have a better magic item, but with the simple staff has a limit to how far it will shoot. And that's a problem because its limit is too short. So we're going to use the bow because it has no limit to how far it can shoot. And if I sit here shooting Glurch, he's going to stand here hopping up and down, and he's going to take damage, but he's not actually going to attack me. And as long as I don't move, I have to stand still the entire time myself, and he will stand still the entire time himself as well. So bring some extra bows with you in case your bow breaks, but you can just literally stand here on the edge of the screen shooting Glurch, and he won't attack. This strategy works for all of the slime bosses, by the way. So if you're struggling with any of the slime bosses in the game, this will work to kill them without them even fighting back. See, Glurch just enraged, and he hasn't even bothered to attack me yet. He'll be dead in a few seconds here. You can see his hit points at this point. He's almost dead. And there he goes. No problem. No effort. No work. That's how you cheese the Glurch fight, though I don't think you need to, personally. Finally, once you have taken down Glurch, you're going to want to grab Glurch's eye, and you're going to want to bring it to the core. Once you've done that, you're going to want to come up to Glurch's statue, and then place the eye inside the statue. This will unlock 3 new crafting recipes: a scanner for Gorm the Devourer, another scanner for Malagaz the Corrupted, and a slime sword. Personally, I'm not a fan of the slime sword, but if you like it, please leave a comment below and let me know why. These scanners are very useful because they will tell you exactly where these bosses are on the map. Now, if you'd prefer to be surprised and want to just kind of find them, don't use the scanner. Otherwise, grab these scanners as soon as you can, activate them, and it will tell you exactly where the boss is, helping you get to them a little bit quicker and reducing the need to just search everywhere. I hope you found this video informative and helpful. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for future content, and if you are feeling really generous, please join us on Patreon or become a YouTube member. Your support means the world to me, and I can't do it without you. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Stay happy, stay healthy, and above all, stay crazy.